Just talking about topics. Oh, she's live right now.
Hey, everybody. This is Kim Jacobs. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you, everybody, for watching today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I am so excited to have you guys here. And I have in the studio with me Mackenzie. Mackenzie works
Hi.
on a lot of the social media with the Kim Jacobs Show. So thank you, Mackenzie, for being on today. How are you feeling over there?
I'm good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You love. Once you come alive when that camera's on. That's funny, right, Shannon? I know you're in the back. Shannon's shaking her head like, this is crazy. It's like a whole different person when you get on that screen.
Oops.
That's so funny. Okay, so listen, everybody. You guys know it's Freestyle Friday here on the Kim Jacobs Show. What does that mean? That means that we talk about topics that matter to you. Whatever you want to talk about is what we talk about. So go ahead and type your comments and ask your questions. And you guys go as deep as you typically want to go. So there's no need to hold back now because I've never seen anything like it. Right, Shannon and Mackenzie? I'm like, oh my gosh, all these topics are pretty overwhelming. But there's a lot going on in the world. So go ahead and grab your virtual seats. Make sure you invite a friend, tag people, say, hey, I'm here on the Kim Jacobs Show and want to invite you to be a part of the studio audience and invite them in. Subscribe to the show. Mackenzie.
Subscribe to the show.
Well, I don't know what wording do I need to say to encourage people to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show?
Just subscribe to the show. That's it. Just need to tell them straightforward.
Well, where do
Subscribe to
they
the show.
subscribe?
On YouTube.
How would they know that when it's like 8 different platforms,
Oh, well, you're streaming 8 different platforms right now. So everybody on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, I don't know the other 5.
Periscope and multiple Facebook pages.
Subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. There you go. Just go on YouTube and look it up and sign in your little YouTube account and press the red button until it turns gray and then put the notifications on.
Well, thank you so much. Coming from the TikTok expert herself. Oh, speaking of TikTok, let's talk about that for a second. How do people get these viral videos on TikTok? Because I don't have a clue. I get like 2 viewers. Well, since you came on, I get a few more, a lot more.
I've been liking your videos, so I've been one of the 2 likers. So
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. But you had a viral video, so
yeah.
What do you recommend?
I had a viral video. I have no idea how it got viral. I just put hashtags on it, and I think it was just because it was on my gender reveal that it got viral. Like a lot of stuff like that, and like weddings and proposals get viral just because it's like events, like big events like that.
The special events really do get more traction.
Yeah.
Do the hashtags matter a lot?
I mean, it'll work because it'll be like trending hashtags. So I've been doing that on some of my videos, but lately I haven't been getting that many likes, but it's fine. But I mean, it kind of matters, but I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All I know is what I'm doing is just sharing what I believe is going to help people in the world and everything that's going on in this world. And so I know I make a difference in the lives of those that are viewers on this show. And so anyway, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about. I was trying to give y'all a chance to get on, but we already know the number one thing that's happening. OMG, the President of the United States and his wife
Corona
has both tested positive for coronavirus. So we definitely want to keep them in prayer. And we don't know how intense anything can get with anybody. We're all humans, no matter what our titles are. So keep in mind that their family needs prayer at this time. We've talked about all kinds of celebrities and people that have contracted coronavirus, and over 200 and some thousand deaths here in the United States. Over 1 million people at this point worldwide have contracted the virus. It's a lot.
There have been like 7 million Americans that have gotten it. I read that online today that there have been like 7 million Americans that have had corona. But
and over 1 million deaths, right? Worldwide, is that what it is?
Worldwide, yeah.
That's crazy. So, I mean, this virus has really been taking a toll on a lot of people. But now that it's hitting home right here in the United States with the world, the leader of the free world type of thing here, and it is amazing.
And a month before election, like a month before over a month and a half before everyone votes for who they want to be president in office and everything. It's not the best because, Biden and Trump are both campaigning and going across and doing their rallies and everything. And now it's like he can't do that because now he has to quarantine to make sure he doesn't spread it to anybody in his rallies and stuff.
That's right. But usually by the time, and this, you guys chime in and let's talk about this. By the time a person finds out that they have coronavirus, they've already probably infected so many other people because they were walking around unbeknownst to them. So they didn't even know they had it. So if it's like 10 days before you find out and you start getting symptoms, because maybe you're asymptomatic, meaning that the symptoms are hidden or diminished or milder where you don't realize, oh, I have COVID type of thing.
Yeah.
So once it finally surfaces, at that point,
you've already been around everybody.
Sometimes
you've already been around everybody and their mother, So like my family and I had COVID. I mean, we're good. It was in the beginning of August, but like I normally just get seasonal allergies, so I just thought it was allergies until like my cousin tested positive and I was around him a few days prior and I was like, "Ooh, this is allergies." Okay. So then me and Mom quarantined and everything, and we're good now. I mean, we were told by the health department we could go back in society and everything. So
good, and that's very important for a little baby over there. That
I know.
Good. So I'm very grateful to hear that you're okay and that your family is like COVID free now. Everybody else in your family doing okay?
Yeah, we're all good. What makes me upset about that though is my grandpa had like 2 bruised lungs and a broken lung, 2 bruised ribs and a broken lung because he got in a wreck a few days prior, and but he came out of it like a champ. I mean, he's fine, but yeah, he was really struggling with a little bit. He still kind of struggles with the pain from the ribs and everything, but he was fine with the COVID. He's okay now.
Good. So, I'm very glad to hear that. That's I call that a praise report.
Absolutely.
A praise report that your whole family's doing okay, and even though they've dealt with this horrid disease. So anybody else that have family and friends that have been impacted by COVID-19, type your family's name or something. Just that we'll be happy to just lift up a word of prayer and encourage hopefully some type of reversal of this situation. I'm asking God to just let this whole virus leave the land, and Absolutely. We can ask anything and it hopefully can be so on this earth. So I'm praying and asking God to let COVID get thee behind us, get rid of it so that it's out of our existence,
Absolutely.
So people, especially if you've had some loved ones pass away, know that we're praying for you all. And we've had a lot of churches that have been praying as well. Quest Church prays for you all Monday through Friday. And that's something that happens every single day on our church Quest prayer line. But with the president having it and his wife having it, he was standing like right there in the presidential debate face to face, which is some distance. Obviously, it was some distance there. But what do you think about that, Mackenzie? They were standing close.
He was right next to Biden, so it wasn't that. I mean, they were on the stage, but they were distance. I mean, but they weren't wearing. They were
yelling and going at it. They were
going back and forth and everything. But I mean, they were right beside each other, yelling and not wearing masks and everything. But I'm glad they didn't shake hands.
Thank God.
That would have been all of Biden's people, could have gotten it. I mean, he probably was exposed because he was so close in close vicinities to Trump.
There was a lot of intense speaking.
And and so spitting and all that
lots
stuff,
of intense speaking. What are your thoughts, those that are on Freestyle Friday today? What do you think? Do you think that the president was very close to the presidential candidate, Joe Biden? And what are your thoughts pertaining to that? What are your thoughts about the president of the United States having COVID-19? Are you praying for him and his family? Just put a quick comment in there and let us know your thoughts. So let's see. What's some other stuff that's going on? Do you have all the topics in front of you?
No, I need to get them in front of me.
What else is trending and happening? Michael Jordan buys spot to form NASCAR team, and he hires Bubba Wallace. I didn't know about that. Did you know about that?
Mm-mm. I don't really listen. I mean, I listen to the news, but I don't watch it. I mean,
people send in different trending topics, so I'm just sharing with you guys. Big thing we know is the presidential debate. And what do you guys think about how the debate went. What do you feel, Mackenzie? I was like, this is a flat out street brawl. That's what I was like. This is intense. I don't think
there's
I've ever
there's
witnessed two
there's a
presidential candidates like battling at that level. I'm talking about like personally going in.
I
Personally.
know, because they were, oh my goodness. Trump was chewing Biden out and spitting him out. And then Biden, when Trump was saying stuff, Biden was making like little comments. And then Wallace was like yelling at both of them. And I'm just like,
It was like literally like a boxing match. I felt like I was at like either a wrestling match, a UFC fight, or some type of boxing match, but the gloves were completely off. I mean, you guys tell me, did you feel the same way when you were watching the presidential debate? I've heard some families say, I heard one of the people that was on a radio show, he said that he was telling his children, Willie Moe, we call him Willie Moe Jr. Willie Moe Jr. was talking about the fact that he, had his children. He was like, hey, why don't you guys come down and watch this with me? And the children were like, that's okay, Daddy. They went to bed and wanted to get that rest instead of even watching a presidential debate. How many people feel like you feel similar to that you would have rather done anything? Go take a bath, take a shower, go eat a snack, just do something other than watching what happened at that 2020 presidential debate. A lot of people have expressed views about the debate from the perspective. I thought, and I mean, I'm telling you, Kim, this is me. I'm just telling you my own personal opinion. I was like, wow, I mean, President Trump is going in about his deceased son. I was like, maybe there should be some limitations and boundaries as to what can be discussed in the presidential debate, especially if the person's son has passed away. And we know how traumatic that is for any parent that has a child that's passed away. And so to be making that a topic of discussion, like, yeah, and let's talk about your boy. And I was like, what? That was a lot to me, for me to digest. But then equally, let's talk about the fact that presidential candidate Joe Biden, he was saying stuff. He was like calling him officially a racist. I mean, he flat out said, you are a racist. I was like,
he straight out said, you're a white supremacist. And then
he was
like, yeah. And then he said, why don't you shut up? You're a clown. Or he called him a clown at one point. And he was like, just shut up. He looked at him and I was like, this is my first year voting. Like where I'm old enough to vote. And so I'm like trying to keep up with both parties, so I can vote for the right person. And I was watching it and I was like I watched Hillary and Trump, their debates with my mom and dad. And I was like, it wasn't this bad. I don't remember it being this bad.
They're just going back and forth. Their debate was bad, but this one, for some reason, was just at an all-time record high. But again, you guys, this is Freestyle Friday, so chime in on your thoughts and share whatever you want to share. And I'll keep on going on some of the other topics that you guys sent in. Dion, huh?
Did you see the thing where Biden might have been wearing a mic? Like,
yeah, they were talking.
He refused to go down a search from it, and then there were pictures that he had like a little thing right on his wrist. Like
right,
if you zoomed in.
I saw that, and they were saying that some of the reports were saying that he was getting funneled answers from his staff members, but he never got officially checked to determine.
Yeah, there were pictures that were like that I saw, and there were like little wires that were like sticking out of his neck. And then there was one when he was talking, and there was one like right here.
Oh, so that's, the paparazzi, they like zoom in on the right hand and get the correct, accurate, picture.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
People go to any extremes to capture what they want to capture about you. You know that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was pretty interesting. I don't know why he wouldn't maybe just go ahead and say here, yes, I am wearing it because I want to hear from my staff and they can give me some feedback. Why not? I don't know. Is there something illegal about that? I'm not sure.
Well, I think maybe it's because he seems to like not be able to keep going like before this, like with his points and stuff. And maybe it's like to tell them what to say.
Right. Oh no, that's exactly what that's what they were saying as an accusation, is that, hey, he needs to be fed this information from his staff so he can keep being a good fighter in the debate. But
one thing
That's all speculation, everybody. So we don't 100%.
It's not facts. Yeah.
Huh?
It's not like factual
It's
proven.
just hearsay, but still enough pictures and things that were being captured to try to prove the hearsay is what was happening. So that was pretty interesting. Deion Sanders hired as head coach at Jackson State. That's pretty amazing. He would be a great coach anywhere. We know that. Deion Sanders is like a force to be reckoned with. So it's like I'm sure Jackson State has great expectations and some great things. Let's talk about this for a second too. People, I know, was it Notre Dame? It was Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. There were so many COVID cases on their sports team, and a lot of different sports teams that are out here are pulling back on some of their programs because the children, I say children, but they're not really these men, young men, and even the staff and some of the staff equipment owners and people that are in the actual rooms and locker rooms and stuff are getting COVID. But that, can you imagine? I'm thinking like with sports, my son plays football too. And the thing is, that's such a heavy contact sport that everybody's sweating on everybody. It's just a mess. So you can imagine. Oh, is that my friend Sean that popped in the backstage? Girl, you know you're supposed to be on Freestyle Friday right at 11 o'clock. I'm going to tell you right now. Can you hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can. I was saying I don't have the earphones today. So
that's okay. That's okay. Right. We can hear you. Girl, come on at 11 o'clock. Don't be leaving your bestie hanging. Mackenzie's been kind enough to be on with me. Thank you, Lord, for Mackenzie.
Well,
go ahead, Sean. What you want to talk about?
In all honesty, I was doing my taxes and looking fastidiously for all of those deductions.
Okay. Very, very good. Very
Y'all know
good.
what I'm talking about? You see that little subtle shade I threw in?
We're fine. We appreciate you then and being a loyal, law-abiding citizen. Very good.
Well, someone has to do it.
That's right. Well, what do you want to talk about, Sean?
What you mean? What I want to talk
about?
Oh,
you just came on to be with us?
No, listen. You know what it is. It's Friday. It is October 2nd, and yesterday we had the big October surprise. Girl, who is surprised? Anybody surprised?
We already know about Trump getting President Trump being. We talked about it a little bit, but is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I want this to be confirmed by some independent sources. You know, I was thinking about this last night, and I said, it's really to a bad place when the public trust in our officials is so eroded that you don't even believe their misfortunes because they are steeped in not telling the truth. And I know I've seen it all over Facebook and Twitter today where people are like, oh my God, libs are rejoicing in this. No, libs are not. What people are saying, I think liberal or conservative, is that this is very telling. And I don't know if it's true or not. I know he said that they had it. You know, I don't know. Could it be hype? Possibly. What would be the rationale for it? Number one, the sympathy vote. Number two.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Okay, so we totally think very differently. You're right. Okay, so this is where it's good for you guys to understand how friendship works. Sean is like, she definitely does not take anything at face value. She definitely deep dives and she's trying to figure out the different angles and what your hook is and what's the game, what's the scheme, what you got going. I 100% on the other hand, 100% said, well, the doctor said they both have tested positive for coronavirus.
The doctor also said that this Joker was in the best shape ever. Joker, what? No. He's in better shape than me, said the Surgeon General. Well, that's a very sad indictment, Jerome, Dr. Jerome, Mr. Surgeon General. But let's talk about it.
Mackenzie, I know you feel free to look. Mackenzie's like, put me in the backstage.
Let's talk about it. On the one side, you know, this could get the sympathy vote, like, oh my God, he's out here on the front lines doing the best he can for all of us. The least we could do is vote for him, right? That's one. Or two, you had a debacle. I mean, they descended into chaos so fast. And I know they said, well, Biden interrupted him first, right? There's a light interrupt, like you're talking, and then I say something really quick. It's different when somebody is talking over you and over you and over you and over you and yelling and talking about things that are irrelevant. So people were very turned off by that. His campaign knows that. I know they tried to say, we got a president who's a fighter. No, you just have a president who's very rude. So after the blowback from the debate, you look at that. You look at people talking about his taxes and him only paying $750, which you got college students. You got 16-year-olds who pay more than that. So people
I pay more than that.
see, Mackenzie pays more than that. Now, they can say, well, you don't have a good accountant. Okay, whatever. That's why I'm over here looking for all the deductions I can get. So you got that. And you got his wife on tape upset because you got to decorate the White House for Christmas. The Christmas, as she said. I have to decorate for the Christmas and I'm working so hard and no one cares. It's like, girl, what you want? So now that's coming out and you're talking about the people being in cages, the children, and you're mad about that. And so all of that is chaos. And somebody had the brilliant idea. They said, you know what? Joker, just get COVID. Who gonna say you don't have it?
Okay, we don't know. Listen, okay, y'all. Sean is I don't know whether she's a theorist or what she is, but she officially has concocted this whole thing.
No. Wait. Well, and let's say this. Don't say that I concocted it, because the truth is, if you go on Twitter, I remember seeing this guy, and I'll have to find it, and I'll drop the link here. He said on 9/18, he said, watch if Trump don't turn around and get COVID behind all of this. But
he could be getting COVID because he has been in all these rallies and hugging people, and the person is his personal aide is on the plane with him, and so I mean he could be getting COVID because he's got all of these people right around him too, and there's no mask.
Sean doesn't believe it. Look at her face.
Let's take it back, right? Because I thought the same thing you did, Kim. So I started researching, and there's an article in the New York Times from March 12th, and you may remember that the president of Brazil was in our country with 2 of his aides, right, and they contracted COVID. And at that time, did our president turn and wear a mask or even get tested? No. Don Jr.'s girlfriend had COVID. Did that stop him? No. A Marine on Air Force One had it. Did that stop him? No. So all of a sudden, after your taxes came out, after they done beat the fool out of you for a terrible debate, after your wife has just been blasted, now you're like, oh, we got COVID and we quarantining. And then to make it all more suspect, so y'all in little close quarters, right? You knew as early as Wednesday that Hope Hicks had it, but yet you still took yourself to the Cleveland Clinic and your family refused to wear masks. That is, if anybody dies, that's negligent homicide. You know, so here it is. Mike Pence said, well, I tested and I'm good. But you still should be quarantined for 14 days because all these other people around you probably got it too. So to me,
well, him and his wife are quarantining now. You know that, right?
Who?
Him and
his wife.
President Trump and his wife.
I said Pence because Pence came out on Friday, which is today, and said, well, look, I'm good. We had our little test, me and mother. Of course you do, because if you did it, people would be in an uproar yelling about the 25th Amendment, which says that when a president is medically incapacitated, that he doesn't have to, but he should transfer his powers over to the VP. But then the VP would be medically incapacitated. So who would that leave it to? Our girl Nancy. And they would rather eat glass mixed in with lava before that happens.
Period.
I guess exclamation point. So, okay, guys, so y'all are just letting the show go with what we're thinking, and that's perfectly fine because it's Freestyle Friday. I already have some of your thoughts anyway, but we already, last time we talked about different companies that are hiring. Let me know too if you all have anybody that's watching the show has applied to any of those companies and what the outcome was. How were you received? Was it something that you got an interview, got to the next level, got the job? It's one thing to do a show. It's another thing for us to be able to follow back through and see what the outcome is from you clicking on one of those links and what happened to you personally. And what else is going on? This 7-day savings challenge. There's a 7-day savings challenge glow up. What is I haven't heard about that. Anybody else want to talk about some other stuff, you guys? It's happening. Let's see.
Let me.
Tony DeVito, a founding member of the Four Seasons, dies from COVID complications, COVID-19 complications. I didn't know that either. Did you know about that? I don't even know who Tony DeVito is. But okay, go ahead. No, I'm praying though. I'm praying for his family for sure.
Yeah. Well, I
Tommy
think
DeVito. It's Tommy. I was gonna say, I
I
was like,
still
I
don't know
never
who
heard
he
of
is
Tony, but
either.
Tommy
I
DeVito
don't know.
passed away. Okay, go ahead.
I think, yeah, I think people have to continue to. I was thinking about this whole thing about prayer. Being a Christian and whatnot, and people are saying that we are supposed to be praying, and people can pray. You don't know what they're praying for,
Right.
and so in that, I don't know. I have a couple of prayers that have been going off the dome for me. And I'm not going to say they're necessarily personal. I just think that everybody doesn't pray alike. But my fervent belief is this: that as I was listening to Tasha Cobbs this morning, and it's a song that she has called Intercession, and there's a hook in there that says, lay aside our agendas, put down all of your pride, and with a heart of repentance, we're coming to you, God. And that's where we have to, in my opinion, get to as a nation. That means everybody putting aside their agendas. The people who want to stay in the White House, the people who don't want the people to stay in the White House anymore. This, to me, is about us repenting for whatever you individually have done, not anybody else, not pointing the
Right.
finger.
Just taking
When you
that
point the
personal
finger, they're
responsibility.
four back at you. Whatever you have done, and saying, God, let your will be done, whatever that may be. Now, some people have a specific thing that they want God to do. And at the end of the day, what I know is this: God is going to be God. He going to do what he wants to do. He will allow what he wants to allow, all for his glory. It may not seem glorious right now, and this doesn't. Like this whole mess that we're in as a country does not seem glorious. But what I realize too is that when we're over there in the book of Exodus and the Israelites were running for their lives from the Egyptians, that probably didn't seem glorious either. But look how it
Right.
ended. So I just pray that this, whatever this is that we're in, that God continues to get the glory out of all of our lives, and that more than anything, the situations that we find ourselves in bring us closer to him, because I overall believe that that's his desire for us, to know him, but also to make him known. And making him known is not making you known. And I
That's
think
right.
that's the gripe that so many Christians, I'm sorry, that so many people who may not profess Christianity, or people who aren't too sure about it, or people who love the Lord but they don't love the church. That's a whole nother topic. We got to make him known and not us known. And that's where we're spending too much time on us.
That's
So
good. Good feedback, Sean. Guys, you guys heard it right from my friend Sean Hall, and she's reporting live right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So, and it is passion beyond deep down in her belly that's coming up. Okay, it's really great. It's really great information. All right. So, what about the solicitation charges against the Patriots owner Robert Kraft being likely dropped? Thoughts? Is that something that's going on? We have all of these different articles that you guys have sent in and said you wanted to hear something or spark some conversation topics starters about. So that's what we're doing. We're just making sure you have an opportunity to chime in on Freestyle Friday and share your thoughts. And it's pretty interesting. So
these are things that when they
we're on
happen,
video and everything,
when these things happen, it is a circumvent of justice, and that's what people of color, in particular Black people, are talking about. It's not a whining, it's not a, oh, let the past be the past. It's very hard to let the past be the past when the past is always coming to your present. And this
Right.
always happens. There's always going to be some man of means, and I, without seeming racial, but for some it would seem that way, because when this happens to Black men, it ain't no getting off. It ain't no getting off. Oh
But
wait,
somebody
eating glass
said
with lava. Yeah.
eat glass with
But
lava. That's what you said.
yeah, eating glass with lava, that's hard to choke down, but they would rather do that than have that lady be president for one day. They would rather. But I think that we have to have a sense of justice in this country that is meted out equally, that happens for all, regardless of your income, regardless of your socioeconomic status, regardless of your education, regardless of your station in life, meaning your position. Nobody is above the law, and certainly not one single official is the law. And that is
Mhm.
what is missing. I'm segueing here like to Daniel Cameron, the AG in the state of Kentucky. Now we find out that you're a liar. Well, we thought that, but now it's confirmed that you were a liar. You were hiding behind the jurors, which tells people, and he doesn't think about this, but there'll be those who don't even want to be jurors because you will besmirch their name. You will sully the service, the honorable
Right.
service that they did, because you had some mixed intentions in there. So you lied and said, well, they didn't find them guilty. No, you never presented it. And that's the thing that most people who know about the law and know about indictments know. It's an old saying in the legal circles. A ham sandwich can get indicted, okay? Because it's just the prosecutor bringing what they want to bring. There is no other side. There is no refutation of facts. It's just you talking to the grand jury, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to come to the conclusion that you want to bring them to. And so here, you did not want justice for Breonna Taylor, because in doing that for her, let's just make it all the way plain, that would be a mess for your political aspirations, because we know that you are Mitch McConnell's protege. And it'll be the first time ever that there would be a black senator from Kentucky, because that's where this is going. Mitch ain't gonna live forever. So they're putting you up, Daniel Cameron. You can't see that? You really think that you're that great? You really think that you're such a great arbiter of the law that this would be bestowed upon you because of your legal acumen? No. Think again. There is a bigger picture always afoot, and that's where we have to see that. We got to peep game, as they say in the streets. You got to peep game, and then you got to check game. And checking game is saying, nah, bruh, we're going hard. We're going to find out this information, and then let's go harder. Let's go and let's get you disbarred, because you don't deserve to be in this position. You don't deserve it. Now, I said what I said.
You said what you
Period.
said.
I said what I said. All of it.
Guys, if y'all want to say anything, feel free to type your comments. She has plenty to say, and I welcome it on Freestyle Friday all the time. Just go, let everything in your heart get it all out. Get it all out. Just get it out on the table. Purge yourself, okay? Just get free. This is good information. I mean, there's a lot going on. So everything that you're saying, I don't have any specific debate about it, so I'm good. It's all good.
And I will say this: vote. Early elections are coming up for some people. Vote in person. I wish I had it with me, but yesterday in the mail I received a ballot from North Carolina GOP, the grand old party, right? Republicans. And on the back of it, it said absentee ballots are easy, safe, and secure. And that struck me, because I thought, wait a minute, aren't you all the same ones telling everybody that these absentee ballots are the death of democracy? So are they the death of democracy, or only when it's going out to the other party? Because
right,
Republicans,
when it's convenient for the other person. But the thing is, I do recommend that those that are voting, if you don't want to be dealing with going on election day with all that happens, which I mean, it's pretty overwhelming when you go and you're dealing with that face to face on election day, go and vote early, or mail in your ballot, or do the absentee ballot, whatever you need to do to make sure that your vote is accounted for. That's the kicker. Make sure your vote is accounted for.
You can go in person. I mean, even if you're a little old person, even if you have your grandmas, your grandpas, the people from the senior citizens homes, take them with their mask, because it's too many opportunities. And it should be clear. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer when you've got Rick Abbott in Texas saying that there can only be one ballot box per county. In Harris County, which is heavily populated with Black people, which they know tend to vote Democratic, but they could vote Republican, you got one box for roughly 5 million people.
That's ridiculous. I wonder, I haven't heard this, but I'm wondering, do they do drive through? I've seen this before when I was going to vote for early voting one year. All of the senior citizens stayed in their cars, and this was pre-COVID, but they stayed in their cars and they were able to bring the ballots out to them. So I know that was offered years ago, 4 years ago.
It depends on the location, but you can best believe this. One thing for certain, two things for sure. In 2020, anything that will make it difficult for people to vote, especially if you live in areas that are highly populated with minorities, they will do it. Do not think that this is going to be a cakewalk. This is what Fannie Lou Hamer died for. This is what John Lewis died for, was willing to have his skull bashed in for. It was good trouble, and it was the opportunity for you
Good
to
trouble.
have your voice heard. And if you think about it, I mean, this to me, this is like basic math. Black people are only 13.4% of the United States population. And yet we come out in 2016, 59% voted. So what that tells me is you may not have a high number of other people, Caucasian and everyone else, voting. So this is why you come to the Black people and try to suppress the vote, because you do come out. It's not hard to see. It's not hard to see. So now you got to do some Jedi mind tricks. This means that more white people have to come out and vote. This means that young people like Mackenzie have to come out and vote, because in 2016, those voters 30 and under, it was only about 16% that came out to vote. Why?
No, because people think that their vote doesn't count. But my parents raised me right to where when I was literally on my mom's hip, I'd go with her to vote. Because as a woman of any race, it's been a color, like it's been a thing for no matter what race you are, no matter what color your skin is. If you're a woman or a colored individual, you had to earn that right to vote. It wasn't just given to you. This year is the 100th anniversary of women getting the right to vote. Those women 100 years ago had to blood, sweat, and tears their way to get their voices heard. So of course I'm going to go and vote. Of course I'm going to go put my voice out there, because people died for that right. And especially with the civil rights movement that happened in the 60s, and with what has happened with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all the stuff that's been happening this year with the Black Lives Matter movement, of course the colored communities need to go and vote, because their voice matters. Their voice matters for what laws you want in your community, all the way up to who you want in office, because no matter what level it is, it matters. And so that's why my mom would take me when I was like a baby on her hip all the way up to last year, and I would go in and I would help her vote. Like, she'd be like, lots of people have fought for this right, so you need to go in and make your voice heard. So that's why this year, as my first year of a registered voter, I'm going with my mom to vote.
Yes.
Because it's a right that lots of Americans have fought for and died for, and that won't take it seriously. When my vote might not make that big of a difference, but it's what the people, the electoral votes for that state, will cast on for the rules in the state of where I live.
Excellent. What do you recommend, Mackenzie, to encourage other people that are your age to go out and vote? What can you say to inspire them to go out and vote? And everything that you're saying is what I've done with my children, and I know Sean do with hers. I've taken my children every year prior to them even being eligible to vote, and they get a sticker and everything, just like they participated, but they really, they get a little fake ballot thing that some of the people outside are handing them, so they can feel like they're a part of the process. But what do you recommend to young people your age to encourage them to vote?
Just that it matters, because no matter what, people will be complaining about what job Trump's doing, or how Biden's rules aren't what they believe in, or how people in their state what such and such law isn't what they would do about it. Then I'm like, then make sure you do something about it, because every 4 years in November you have a chance to do something about it, to make a difference, and vote for a law on the rule that you would want to be changed, or the person you want in office that might not be the person in office that you want. No matter what your political standpoint is, vote for someone that you believe is going to be the better option, And so, of course I'm going to vote. And then in 2024, I'm going to have a little boy on my hip. He's going to be 3, and I'm going to take him to vote like my mom did with me and my brother. Because it's a thing that no matter what, that's a right that lots of people have fought for, which is if it was 1920, I wouldn't have been able to, I might have been able to vote, but I wouldn't have been able to vote because there would have been a lot of digression because I'm a woman,
Well, and let me add to Mackenzie's point, because one thing that she said that people always glom onto is the federal elections every 4 years. But really, the real power happens every 2 years, when you're voting for your congressman, when you are voting for the district attorneys. When people are upset that charges aren't brought against someone who blatantly commits murder, be mad at yourself if you did not get involved in your local elections and vote for the DA.
To vote for the right judge that's going to go in there and do something about it. Yeah, there's
You
a
have to do that.
period.
That's good.
There's a at my old school that I went to last year, one of the staff members got accused of raping like girls from all the way back to 2007, and he's arrested and in jail. And I'm like, of course the judges are going to be doing something about it, but they might not because people might not have voted for them. But you need to go out and vote if that doesn't happen, because at the end of the day, your voice matters. And in a scenario like that, where if you didn't vote for the right person, or like, not saying that you have to vote for the right person, but like, your voice matters no matter who you vote for, or what law you're trying to change, or who the mayor is, or district attorney, who you want to be in Congress, Supreme Court, House of Representatives, whatever,
Every vote,
because
every
every
level.
vote matters,
Every
you
level.
know?
Every vote and every level of the judicial system needs to have your voice in it, that you have the opportunity to express that voice. Other than that, when things happen that you don't like in your court system or in your school system, or a tax, or anything that's getting passed, you had to say so. They have asked very specific questions on those ballots, and you get the opportunity to voice your opinion. That's when you're taking the time to vote, to say, this is what I would like to see happen. And so exercise that right. I saw a t-shirt that Praise 100.9 Melanie Clark, she actually has,
Pratt.
and she says, well, Melanie Pratt, I'm sorry, she's been Clark and Pratt now. And anyway, so she got married many years ago.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, okay. So I've known her from Melanie. So from Praise 100.9, I want to make sure you know she has a t-shirt that says, "Be mad enough to vote." And I think it's like $20 or something. So definitely go and check out Melanie Pratt from Praise 100.9, her t-shirt, "Be mad enough to vote." Make your vote.
Too. Don't forget to fill out the census, guys. This is how money gets to our communities. People always feel like, oh, somebody's going to come and knock on my door and they're going to get me. Listen, they have metrics in place that even if you are not in this country, what they say legally, still fill out the census. It's census.gov. The last day they're saying is October 5th. Now, there's a big court battle about that, because the court said it could be longer, but then you had the person over the Department of Interior, if I'm not mistaken, say, no, October 5th is going to be the date, and it is what it is. Get out and fill out the census.gov. It only takes about 10 minutes. This is how much needed monies get to our communities, how we get community centers, how we find different things happening that we need. And if you don't have your voice heard, there's nobody to blame but yourself. We spend 10 minutes scrolling on Twitter.
What I'm saying is if the people like will be tweeting or putting on Facebook or Instagram, I can't believe Trump did this, or I can't believe so-and-so did this, or I can't believe so-and-so got away with this charge, when they're not doing anything about it. So like whenever they have the right to vote on someone who would have done something different about it, they're not going out and filling out the paperwork and casting their ballot when it's their it is your obligation as a United States citizen, because it's given to you by being a resident in this great country where your voice matters, no matter what your, sexuality is, no matter what your religion orientation is, no matter what color or gender you are, your vote matters. And so that's why, like, no matter if it's from the mayor or whoever is in charge of, like, to be on a school board, all the way up to the president, because that matters no matter what level it is, because if you want something done about it, go out and vote, and they'll make a difference.
You're making me proud, Mackenzie.
Absolutely.
You're making me proud.
And I wish this message would be on Snapchat. That you asked earlier, Kim, what can young people do? Encourage each other, because 60 to 70% of young people, which when we classify that, we're looking at between ages 18 to 35, they are more influenced by what their peers say. So if your peers are telling you to get in the game and go register, because that's where it all starts. Register to vote. If you're going to be 18 by November 3rd, you can vote. Go and register. If you don't want to go to the courthouse, you can do it online. It's just that easy. Google, how do I register to vote? And 1,000 sites will come up. You can register in the privacy of your own home. And
which is what I did.
Yes!
What I did, and I got a little card in the mail that says before November 3rd, you go here and vote.
That's it.
So it's like, okay, I've already been, whenever I went and got my license, they're like, do you want to register to vote? And you're like, yes. And so then you're registered to vote in whatever county or city you live in,
You can go you can actually go to www.usa.gov, and you can fill out everything right there to register to vote.
If you're in North Carolina, you can go to NCDOT, the DMV, and register
Right.
to
It's
vote.
all kinds of sites right here in North Carolina. Let me put this.
No excuse. It's no
Let me
excuse
put
not
this.
to vote wherever you are in the country. I don't care if you are in the outermost part and you're in Alaska. You still have an opportunity to vote. And our collective voices, they matter. It's kind of like Horton Hears a Who. And you remember when they were down there and they had to say, "We are here. We are here." It took
Yeah.
hundreds of them, but that's what it takes in our country. This is a watershed moment that you will never forget, whichever way it goes. Whoever gets into the White House, the path this time is like walking over hot rocks mixed in with glass, mixed in with every kind of chemical, but it's worth it. Any kind of pain that we're going to experience trying to vote, it is worth it. Not just for you, but for your children, for your grandchildren. This matters.
Well, yeah, because what you vote right now matters for your kids in the future that they're going to grow up in. And that matters more now because I'm pregnant and he's going to be born in February 2021. So after the inauguration, so he's going to be raised in whoever's president and whoever's in, office, that's going to be what he's spending his early childhood in,
Yep.
So
Very important point. And for those that are just joining, today is Freestyle Friday here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So we've been talking about topics that are important to you, topics that you guys have either sent in earlier, which we've covered on some, or topics that we're just talking about that are trending as well. And so thank you for joining the Kim Jacobs Show today. Listen, I encourage you guys let me give a quick shout out to today's episode sponsor. Our episode is sponsored today in part by StartMyTruckingCompany.com. Now, Start My Trucking Company is a business that teaches you everything about starting a trucking company from scratch. Everything you pretty much need to know. You can learn how to actually have a trucking business plan. You learn about the trucking industry. You learn about international trucking routes. You also get the opportunity to learn about call centers, and you learn all of this from the founder and CEO who has over 30 years of experience in the trucking industry. So what do? You can call 214-699-5009, 214-699-5009, or you can email them at info@startmytruckingcompany.com. That's info@startmytruckingcompany.com. Please let them know that Kim Jacobs from the Kim Jacobs Show sent you. Again, thank you for being today's episode sponsor of the Kim Jacobs Show. Also, if you have not subscribed, have you not subscribed to the Kim Jacobs Show yet? If so, I am encouraging you. Y'all tell them to subscribe. Somebody tell them, please.
Right.
Y'all subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Okay, Sean, you tell them, and then Mackenzie tell them.
Listen, you want a personal invitation, you got it. Hop on YouTube, hop on Kim Jacobs Show, The Balance Doctor. What is it? Wait, the Kim Jacobs Show?
It's the Kim Jacobs Show.
What show are you at, lady? What show are you on?
You have so many. So you go there and click subscribe. It doesn't hurt you, but it does bless her. It's an opportunity to uplift a business, guys. Get busy. Let's go. It's 2 seconds, and encourage your friend. And then come back over here and say, I did it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Okay, y'all subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. Like her on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all the lovely things. Follow her on Instagram. Make sure you follow her on all social media platforms and subscribe on YouTube. Press the little button, and then put on the post notifications, and you're all set to go.
Bam.
Thank you both. And so there you have it, guys. Make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification button, and select it to all. When you do that, guess what? You'll be alerted when we come on live. Now, keep in mind, next week is 1 week I'm taking off. I have not taken off in a long time since COVID-19 started. I have been sitting here in front of the screen, making sure I provide you with valuable guests that have provided really some great, insightful information, teaching you the process on how to brand yourself, how to care for your aging parent, how to have good mental health and stability during these COVID times. I brought physicians on. I've brought experts that teach you about virtual schools and learning and styles and homeschool coach. You name it. It's been some people that's been gracing the stage here, gracing the studio here virtually on the Kim Jacobs Show. So I encourage you to go back and look at all the different episodes and pick out the ones you love or like and comment on those. You have plenty of material to watch next week while I just take a moment.
It's honestly embarrassing.
Oh, and can I add something? Because how can I not let this happen? Y'all.
Wait, I can hear an echo. I can hear like me talking back on somebody's screen.
I have earbuds in.
I've been hanging on and holding on and saying prayers.
Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for those people who are trying to send their kids to college, if you are a college student, FAFSA just opened yesterday, October 1.
FAFSA is a pain in the butt.
It may be a pain in the butt, but this is how you get your money. And so I want to tell you this. This year, we are caught up. When FAFSA started with Obama, he gave 2 years grace in terms of your tax returns. But this year, if you're filing for next year, the 2021-2022 year, they are looking for your tax returns that you filed in 2019. What does that mean? It means that if you filed an extension, you only have until October 15th to get that together. It means if you didn't file taxes, you're going to be paying a penalty, and you need to get that done so your kids can get financial aid. Don't sleep on it, because the early bird gets the worm. States are broken because of COVID, so a lot of money that they would normally have that goes into educational opportunity grants, that's really going to go fast, and the people who will get it are the people who have their FAFSA in first. So don't wait, go get it.
That's good. Good.
Do you know what stinks about that, though?
Huh?
If your parents make more than like $50,000 a year, you don't get jack, because they think your parents make money. And
let's say this. I got to put a pin in that, because really it comes down to the taxes that they already filed, right? So for 2019, that may not have been a great year for some people. And really it goes down to your EFC, your estimated family contribution. It is true, the more money you make, you may not be able to get financial aid grants, which would be the Pell Grant, but money for some of the loans will still be there. So the goal, as parents are completing their taxes, is to make sure that you take every deduction possible, because what they're looking at is not your gross income, but your adjusted, your AIG, your adjusted income. That's what they're looking for.
Very good.
Your adjusted gross income. So, as low as you can get your taxes legally without going to jail, lying about it, you want to do that. And for those students who are older, like Mackenzie's getting ready to have a child, that means that you're going to be now not dependent, but you will be independent. So all of these things matter, because once your status changes, that means there's more money that you're eligible for. So it's worth taking the time to Google, how do I get the most on my FAFSA, and looking at that information, and making sure that you're putting in everything to get every single dollar possible.
Absolutely. And also, speaking of which, make sure you know that Sean Hall has allroadseducation.com, allroadseducation.com. She helps your children get scholarships to colleges and universities. And when I say I'm saying this, I can say it personally, that she's helped my son, Ivan. She's helped my children get scholarships. But right now she's specifically working with Ivan, and he has received over about $10,000-$15,000 in scholarships just working through Sean as his coach. She's tough, so she actually gives you very specific assignments and makes sure that the child complies with those responsibilities. But at the end of the day, if the child is compliant and does exactly what she's saying, that child walks away with some pretty hefty scholarships. So make sure that you reach out to Sean Hall. You right? How do they get you, Sean?
allroadseducation.com is my website. You can follow me on Facebook. It's All Roads Education. That's my business page. And once you type that in, I'm going to come up. I've got so many good tips that I'm giving, free resources that I give when I'm doing my little Facebook Lives. It's worth taking a moment, checking it out. It is a paid service. I have to tell people that, because they say, oh, I heard you help kids. I do help, but it is for a fee. And what I will say is that, I think the rate of return on your investment is amazing because people don't realize that college now, if you're going to a North Carolina school, a state school, that education for 4 years is over $100,000. And
Oh
if you
my
don't
goodness,
have that,
it was the same. It was the same for me. I went to Lee University last year. Good gosh, I worked my butt off paying that off.
College can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. It does take planning, and you can't plan at the last minute. You know, you got to know right now that you want your kid to go to school next July, next August. This is scholarship season right now. Like, you know how that guy Alex Trebek says, "This is Jeopardy." Well, this is scholarship season. This month in October, there's so many scholarships due that it'll make your head spin. The big number ones. And it takes time. You're not going to be able to do it all in one night, nor should you try to. But if you start laying out a plan and every single day you're doing something, at least you're able to get in the game. You won't win if you're not in the game.
That's good. And I'm telling you, being in the game with Sean, you're going to win. Your child will win. So make sure that you take advantage of the opportunities through allroadseducation.com and reach out to Sean Hall. She comes on and helps her bestie on Fridays with Freestyle Friday. So thank God for my friend. Thank you, Mackenzie, who's going to be working backstage normally, but she came on here today to help a sister out.
I love it.
You know, we different nationality. My sister over there, Mackenzie, trust me. Okay, you helped me.
I got to go turn into a mommy and put my cape on and go get my kids. So
thank you for being on today. We're getting ready to disconnect shortly, but thank you, Sean, for being on.
Thanks for having me. Bye, Mackenzie.
Bye.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, got to pop off. Let's see. Okay. All right. Sean was kind enough to stop by. Thank you, Mackenzie, for being on. Listen, next week, I will be just taking a mental reprieve. I'm not going to be on Monday through Friday of next week, but I've told you guys every day this week, just as a courtesy to you guys, and I'll be back on air on the week of October 12th. Lots of different shows you can watch. I've had episode after episode after episode, so go and just have a field day right there on YouTube, and you will get plenty of, you know what? I'm sorry. I have to, Mackenzie, say something for a second. Hello.
Hi, y'all. So we're off next week, and I hope y'all take that to just, rest and have a good week. And if you're on fall break, take your kids on vacation to the beach, and just, if you're working, do the best you can, and without the showing it, which I know is sad for a lot of y'all who have been on here every day. So just take a much needed break and, just recuperate and relax and, just work and do your schoolwork and everything, and just take a much needed break and see mentally and emotionally where that gets you. Get into a better headspace. I know everybody needs to get in a better headspace sometimes, 100%.
Thank you, Mackenzie, for doing that. Listen, three of my children have cystic fibrosis, and that's a lung disease. For those that don't know what that is, where it builds up mucus and stuff in their lungs, and they're warriors and the troopers, so they rock and roll and knock cystic fibrosis straight in the head. Okay, so we don't let it take over or anything. But something had happened with one of my children's vest, and I was like, oh, I can't miss that call. So again, I'm a mom. The show is all about how we balance different aspects of our lives. So if I say hold on, it's because I have no choice but to take that call, and it's something pertaining to my children that is critically important. Okay, but again, that's called life. That's how I balance things. And the way I balance things, when people ask me personally, well, how do you do this? How do you manage this? First of all, I don't do everything. I cannot do everything. You're not capable of doing every single thing. So I compartmentalize, I manage and prioritize and say, this is what I have to get done. This stuff right here can wait. I don't focus on it until I have to, because you cannot focus on everything at the same time, or you will get overloaded and overwhelmed. And I'm not about to live that life. So from a balanced perspective, I do what needs to be done and put things in their proper perspective. And then I say, okay, the rest will get done when it gets done. And it does get done. It just may not get done right now, because I am one person and I ask for help. When I need the help, I ask for help. I say, can somebody help a sister out? I need some help over here for a few moments. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Asking, you shall receive. So those are some of my philosophies. But the biggest thing for me is, many of you all know, I put God as my main priority. He's not a to-do. He's not on my to-do this. He is the priority, and whatever his will is for my life is what I want to have happen. And so people say, well, is this a spiritual show? I don't care what you want to call it, spiritual, mainstream, whatever. The point is, God, I abide by the rules and the laws of the Lord. And that's what I'm
Absolutely.
calling to. Okay. So the show is whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter to me. It's the Kim Jacobs show. But Kim Jacobs is saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit. That's what I am. And that's I don't want to be a part of any show that I can't profess who I am.
And profess who you believe in, what your beliefs are. 100%.
That's right. So I'm okay. Okay, I think we talked a lot about. Oh, I was going to tell y'all this one thing too, real quick about. Let me share with this. Roy Jones is saying that he might actually be regretting getting in the ring with Mike Tyson, the former heavyweight champion. He is a little nervous, I think, according to some of his own statements. And that's supposed to take place on November 28th in California. So keep Roy Jones, keep Mike Tyson in prayer, because there's some stuff popping off that's going to be like, oh my goodness, what have I done? And then many people want to know too about the fact that like Walmart, they are redesigning their entire store. And a lot of people were like, well, what is it going to look like? What is it going to look like? So there have been some, hey, thanks, sweetie. There have been, let me show you, see if I can show you this real fast. We're going to hop off of here anyway. This the show is coming to an end for today, but I'll just show you this quick redesign. Someone had sent this in, and I wanted to make sure I got this in for you guys. This is what the new redesigning of Walmart will look like. So that's a little image right there. I'm not going to play the video, but they're doing a massive redesign. So let's see if Walmart's going to be able to win me over, because I'm telling you, I do not like clutter and congestion when I'm somewhere. I need to know that I can go in there and have a good experience like that. So let's see if that's going to make
Do you
me.
know what you need to do is do the Walmart pickup. You can order you can order it online, and they already bring it to your car and everything. That's what we did with our groceries. You don't have to go in and get
I love
distracted
that.
by everything.
I do
spend
that
more
often,
money.
and I also love Instacart. Instacart is like a main go-to where they deliver the groceries right to your home, and I love Instacart.com. I don't get any extra affiliate anything by saying that, but it's just something I personally like. So, hey, maybe they should be sponsoring me. Mackenzie, you want to check into that? Somebody, Shannon. Instacart stuff I use, stuff I actually do. Can they see that Kim Jacobs is on here doing a shout out for them? All right, listen, guys, make sure you go to Quest Church prayer line, and I'll give you that number right quick for you to call in. Prayer begins from 12 to 12:30, Monday through Friday. And so it's 978 990 5000. Again, that's 978 990 5000. Access code is 322083 pound. And that's Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. Mackenzie, I'm going to remove you from the screen for a second, and I'm going to remove myself from the screen once I put something up that I would like to share with you guys as I prepare to close out. As a part of the studio audience virtually, you make a difference. You're the ones that make the show what it is. So please invite your friends, your coworkers, your family members, everybody, to invite them to be a part of this Kim Jacobs show experience. If there are specific topics that you want, this is a great time for you to write in. You can inbox me, you can text me, you can email me, kim@thebalancedoctor.tv, and let me know what topics interest you. I'll bring a guest on. I'm not the expert on everything. I don't know everything, but I do know who I can get that can address whatever it is that you're dealing with. So give me that opportunity to be able to serve you in this capacity. Let me know what topics you need to hear, and we'll get those topics here on the air for you. God bless you, and you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful upcoming week. I'll see you October 12th week. Thank you so much, Shannon, Mackenzie, and Cassandra, and Selwyn, and Frank Jr., and Mr. Joe, and Deacon Van, and all of you guys that help make the Kim Jacobs Show function. Rachel, thank you guys all for everything that you're doing, big or small, to help the show be what it is. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you on Monday, October